Hello, David. Can you hear me?
I hear you, Ken.
Okay. David has his microphone muted.
There we go. How about that?
Perfect.
All right.
Good.
How are y'all?
Perfect.
Linda, have you ever done a Zoom before?
No, I have not.
So congratulations to you.
At least I
Doing it.
made it here.
Hey, you're here. Ken,
I
how
don't know
about
where my picture is.
you've gotta do your video. You gotta start.
Start video. Okay. All
There you
right,
go.
there I am.
See me?
We hear you.
Do you see me?
Yeah. Interesting.
What?
Doing this. I've had more new experiences with the school board.
I've done about 50 of these, literally.
Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah. We've done all of our interviews this way.
Well, you're a pro then.
Well, this is the first one I've done from my home. I've been doing them from the office. So we'll see how the background noise goes.
Yeah, we can.
This down. Share screen. Nope.
So Kevin's getting a dock installed. Kevin. I said, well, if we're in Atlanta, we might swing on down to.
Trying to figure out how to shrink this down so I can get to my agenda.
Good evening.
Hey, Shonda.
Hi, Shonda.
Hi, Linda. Hi, Bruce.
Hi, Shonda.
Is that Miss Wanda there with you?
Yeah.
All right.
Miss Linda, where's your baseball cap?
I decided I would not wear it. Where is your picture?
They decided not to break the camera.
Oh, okay.
We just switch over to live video now as well. Or leave the slide up.
We got,
It's being broadcast to the internet too, so.
okay. How much time we got? We're gonna go
We
by
should
your
have-
watch, be
we should
official.
have-
12 minutes.
10 minutes.
Okay.
12
Cal now,
minutes of looking at each other.
will not be here on this, will they? They just want to view the meeting.
The public that are not addressing the board are viewing it live via YouTube Live.
Okay.
In fact, let me show you. This is what they see right now. They do have audio. All the audio.
Okay, good.
That's
Good.
all they can see at this moment. I'll turn the video on.
Very good.
Hey, Shonda. This is Yeah, you're muted still.
Yes, sir.
This is my first one to do from home.
Mm-hmm.
So if I want to shrink the screen so I can pull up the agenda and email or whatnot, is there
Okay. Okay, so just kind of move your mouse and then you will have to exit full screen. It's in the top right corner.
I'm not seeing that.
Okay. Do you see, you may not be in full screen. Do you see, what I see on the left is the Board of Trustees meeting, April 21st, and then I see the 6 of us that are on right now. So what is, I'm trying to determine your,
I just see the 4 of us. I see Ken, you, Linda, myself.
you do
Now I can
not
see
see
Bruce.
Bruce, and then Denison ISD.
Let me get to a different swap shared screen with video. Show grid video.
Well, to get to the agenda, you're going to have to exit full screen if you're not in full screen.
Is that, Shonda, like up by, it says you're viewing Denison ISD screen and there's view options?
Yes. What do you see there, Dr. Kirkbride? Because I have mine on speaker view and then exit full screen would be in the top right corner.
Mine shows you're viewing Denison ISD screen. That's right in the middle at the top, and then view options to the right of it, which I think is what Linda was. I see exit full screen.
Right.
There, okay.
It's also, the design and the layout is responsive, so it shifts depending on the size of your screen. So if you have a larger screen, you'll see more video participants at one time. That may be why he was seeing something different than what you saw.
So are the ones there in the boardroom, are we not going to see, we're not going to see them?
Yes, once we start, the slide will go away and it'll be live video.
Okay. Kyle, I love the background, the Denison ISD.
Thank you.
Can't you sing or something while we're waiting? Dr. Scott, do you need me to stay after the executive committee meeting to watch for that? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll be here till y'all get out of here.
Okay. Oh, you're talking about for the executive session? No. I'll lock up everything. That's not a problem.
Okay.
I'll be
Yeah.
here until after.
You CMC folks all have great voices. Can you sing along for us?
We have to have a group. It's acapella, it's a group.
Acapella means with no music, not individually, or with a group.
It can be whatever I want it to be.
Is that right?
It's whatever I want it to be.
You can't talk to a linguist and expect him to follow that.
Dang, about what time did that accident occur?
It was early.
Early this morning.
It was real early.
What about-
Because Shelley couldn't get out till at work.
Okay.
The fog hadn't even let up yet.
Shonda? I think you're muted again. Do you have that document handy that you sent to the board members with the links and instructions?
I could get to it.
I can get to it. I thought maybe you had it right there.
No, I can get to it from my phone. Who do I need to send it to?
Randy Sedlacek.
Okay.
Thank you.
David, the same rules apply, public participation, the 3 minutes. So when you make that announcement. And David, the other thing is what a lot of these boards are doing. If you've got a motion, ask for those that are nay. And if you don't hear any nays, it's unanimous.
Right.
Rather than go through the other, because it's not convenient in this format. So that's what I've heard them doing. Just say, if there's any nays, please express your vote. If not, then we're going to say this unanimous decision.
I'd set a time. Maybe who from recording will be presenting? Because Steve Mosey is here, but I don't know if I need to let him in as a panelist.
Yeah, you can let him, he may be.
Kyle, is that, should I send it to just Randy Sedlacek at DISD board?
Shonda, I sent it to him.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Ken.
Ken is one of those, it looks like a yearbook with photo not available.
Right?
We see your
I've
name.
got my quarantine facial hair going. I don't want you to see it.
It was saved Movember.
I do too, Ken.
I can't see you.
Steve,
Yep, I got my quarantine facial hair contest with my son going on at the same time.
I got the big old mutton chops and
Randy Sedlacek is in now.
chin spinach. Also, he's got the quarantine look going too.
I do. Yes. My son and I have a challenge.
Yes.
I'll tell you, I need the barbershops to open up.
I'm telling you.
They're gonna put a dog tag on me.
Absolutely.
Give me an ear tag.
Yeah.
Kobe posted today that the barbershops and stuff were opening on Friday. And I was just fixing to text Rhonda that cuts my hair. And I thought, wait a minute. I started checking. That was Georgia. So I said, you realize you posted something about Georgia? He's like, no.
Did Randy get logged in?
I was excited there for a second.
Yeah, I believe the members are on now.
Yes. Good.
Did we lose Bruce?
Oh, we lost Bruce.
Well, he's still connected. It's just in this view, it
Only
only
so
shows
many.
the last few people that have talked. Once this slide goes away and we're to live video, then everybody will be.
Okay. You leading the pledge tonight? You're the youngest one here.
Yes, I could.
Don't do it unless he lets you hit the gavel.
I didn't practice with my teacher.
David, I've got 6:30 if you want to start.
Okay. Call this meeting of the Denison Independent School District to order. Let the record show that a quorum of board members are present, and this meeting is duly called. And the notice of this meeting has been posted in accordance of Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code, Chapter 551. Got a quorum of board members here, and I want to welcome everybody that's here. Right now, we'll go ahead and do the Pledge of Allegiance.
Well, if you want to do the pledge, we can.
We'll do the pledge first, and then we'll get the.
Okay, that'd be
get that
good.
I pledge allegiance to the
Allegiance
flag
of
of the United
the
States
States
of
of America,
to
and
the
the
republic
republic for which it stands,
one nation under God, indivisible.
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dr. Scott?
You know, we've got some very sad news to share with you. This morning, while jogging, we had a very special teacher at Scott Middle School that was hit by a car. Katie Palmer, some of you may know her. Outstanding individual, outstanding teacher. And we understand she's fighting for her life. And so keep her in her prayers. I'm going to ask David Kirkbride to say a special prayer for she and her family and for that staff out there.
You'll pray with me, please. Father God, it is, we consider it a privilege to be called your children and to have the opportunity to come to you, especially in our times of struggle and our times of hurt. And Father, this is one of those times. And so tonight, we lift up to you the Palmer family. We lift up to you Katie's husband, who is also in the hospital, and we just pray for his healing as well, for both Katie's children, for the extended family. Father, our hearts just go out to the whole family in this tragedy. But Father, we know and we trust you, and in your word, it tells us that you are here to comfort us in our trials, and so that's what we ask for now. We ask for your special sense of peace and comfort that only you can provide to the entire family. We pray for Katie, as she, as Dr. Scott said, is fighting for her life. And Father, if it is your will and if a miracle were to occur, we ask for complete healing there. But Father, if not, we continue to ask for healing and peace for the family. For the staff at Scott Middle School, for the students that know her so well, we ask for comfort there as well. And the next several days and weeks will be difficult. As we know, Scott Middle has experienced a lot of suffering, a lot of trials, a lot of grief over the past 2 or 3 years. And so, Father, we just continue to lift that staff up to you. I pray for John Parker, for Rachel Bennett, for the counselors and other leaders on that campus as they lead in the midst of the trouble. Father, for our nation, for our country, for our state, as we all experience this pandemic, we pray for comfort for us all. Father, we trust you and know that in the end, all will be well. And we thank you for being the God that you are, and for loving us the way that you do. I pray all these things in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Okay, any board comments? Start out with Becky.
I just want to say I've been so impressed by the the way our teachers have stepped up in this unprecedented time. And I'm just so proud to be a part of this district. And I'm just so proud of the way that they've handled everything. They're working hard and they're going above and beyond. And I just think it speaks well for our district and its leadership. And I also pray for Katie. This is going to be tough for our district.
Bob?
Well, it is definitely, as Dr. Scott said, when we came in tonight at different times, we've seen people rise to the challenge. We knew that we have great teachers, great staff, a lot of great folks in this district, and I think we're seeing that be played out every day. Some good students and some parents who are getting to spend some time with their kiddos that they might not otherwise get to spend. And so as challenging and trying as it is, I think we'll see some good things come out on the backside. I'm looking forward to seeing how the rest of the year works out, how things go here.
Randy?
Yeah, I just want to applaud the teachers, administrators, and staff at Denison ISD during this difficult time of trying to educate our children distance-based, and also for our parents that are having to take over some of the educational responsibility. I know it must not be easy for them, so my heart goes out to y'all and the students, especially the seniors that have had their senior year interrupted. So, just say that hang in there. It'll get better. And I want to echo Becky's thoughts about the Katie Palmer and her family. Our hearts, thoughts, and prayers go out to her continually.
Kim?
Yeah, I'd like to echo those thoughts on obviously Katie and her family, but going in and out to work, I noticed that our response from DISD has been so much more significant than some of the other outlying schools. And I just really appreciate what the teachers are doing. I've been talking with them, and it's just pretty incredible, the response to meet the challenges of this time. So.
Bruce? See, muted. Muted. Hold on just a second, Bruce. We're having trouble with audio. Okay, try it now. Okay, we're still having problems with your audio, Bruce.
We had some issues earlier today with his.
Come back to him.
We wound up
Okay.
having to have him call in my phone. So
All right.
we may need to do that.
Let me come back to you, Bruce. Linda?
I just want to say a huge thank you to all our awesome district administrators, teachers, staff, and everyone for their hard work during this difficult time. And while I don't know Katie personally, my heart goes out to her and her family during this time. Thank you.
And I just want to echo everything that all the board members have said. I got to see the food going out to the students firsthand, because one of our dear friends' father came down with the virus, and so they were all quarantined to the house. So between my wife and I, we went every day to get the food for the students, plus pick up the lessons and everything. So, and I just I wished I could pat the back on all the DISD employees the food staff, our Mark, and everybody just came forward, and it was just like a well-oiled machine. They took care of things, and it was just phenomenal the way that they did it. I didn't see any kind of disgruntlement or anything out of anybody trying to get through the lines, and it was very good. So we'd be proud of it, and hopefully we can get things done for the seniors as well, and hear what we can do. Bruce, have you got any audio yet? Okay. Well, we just need to call him on the phone.
Yeah.
Well, this is just board comments, so we can probably move on.
Okay.
The issue is I need to call, but I need to also be involved in the next part because it's public participation and I have to allow those participants in. So
Yeah.
Should we pause for a minute? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's.
Okay. I'm going to call it.
Isn't there a number that he can call in on his phone to get into the meeting
Yes.
via audio?
That's what he's doing now.
Randy, can we ask you a question?
We're going to have you call in.
Randy,
Yeah.
green screening or what is that behind you?
It's a glacier in Alaska. I'm on a cruise right now, so no. That's a picture I took of a glacier up in Alaska a couple of years ago.
So is that blown up huge or are you green screen?
It's a virtual background.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Very nice.
Hey, Wanda, we're having trouble with the audio.
We're all actually someplace else too. We've got a virtual background that looks like the boardroom.
So
It does. It looks very familiar.
down the bottom left where the little mute button is, there's the up arrow. Click on that and then click on switch to phone audio. It should be when you click on that up arrow. Just to the right of that, there's a little arrow pointing up. Do you see that? Yes, click on that and then click on switch to phone audio.
Eves, is that a treadmill behind you?
And then a box pops up and it has the.
I didn't see any clothes hanging on it though, so I didn't figure it was a treadmill.
So if you'll just call,
Stationary bike.
and then it'll ask for those other pieces of information, and once you dial all that in, it will connect your audio to the.
No, this one actually gets used.
The value of a good treadmill is how many clothes will it hold?
Yes.
Okay, is it ready?
Okay, they have the information now. It'll take just a second for her to dial.
Okay.
We're live on the internet.
All right, let's go forward.
Patrons to be heard.
Let's go forward.
That's what I'm doing. We have patrons to be heard. We'll have 3 minutes for each one. See, is Shannon Ramey?
I don't see Shannon or anything.
Okay. Stephanie Matthews?
Stephanie Matthews is.
Okay.
Just 1 second to put her into the conference.
All right.
Ms. Matthews, can you hear us? You're currently muted. I can force it unmute.
Okay. Yeah.
You're muted.
They unmute
Okay,
me.
Ms. Matthews, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Okay. You have 3 minutes. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Thank you to the school board and to the administrators for letting the parents comment tonight. I'm here on behalf of the senior parents. I know that many of the students have emailed the school board members and administrators in regards to graduation. And we are just asking the school board to strongly consider that we have a graduation, that it be postponed, and that it not be canceled. We feel as parents, I feel as a teacher that all students deserve this. And I know that you will keep the students' best interest at heart. We just want them to be able to celebrate this milestone. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Linda Ring. Okay. Haley Blessingame. Miss Blessingame, do you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you have 3 minutes. Go ahead, ma'am.
Thank you for your time. My name is Haley Blassingame. I'm the senior class president of the class of 2020. I'm a proud Denison Yellow Jacket, and during this difficult time, the seniors have been stripped of memories that can never be made up to us. Events that we've worked hard for and looked forward to our whole lives. Not only like spring sports seasons, banquets, social events, last day of school, and our senior prom. And I couldn't imagine graduation being on the line to be canceled. So I respectfully advise to do everything that we possibly can to not have a virtual graduation and to postpone until it's safe. Thank you for your time.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Ms. Matthews. That's okay. She's muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am. I've got you now. Go right ahead. You have 3 minutes.
Okay, I just once again want to thank the school board for responding to our emails from all the senior class. We greatly appreciate that. I just want to say that I also feel that your DHS students, your faculty, and your families all deserve a postponed graduation. We've worked hard for this for 13 years, and so it would be a really big deal for us to get to walk across that stage and receive our diploma from you all. We've missed out on a lot of opportunities, like Haley said, and we're just really pushing so that we can have a postponed graduation. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Joseph Millennium.
He was joined in twice.
It's like the third before the bottom.
Oh, there he is.
Okay, there he is. We're trying to get you, Joseph. Hang on. There he is.
Kyle, there's a message in the chat that says,
You just got muted.
Okay, there is a message in the chat that says Joseph's screen is frozen. He's trying to fix it right now.
Okay, let's go on to Reagan McClure. We'll come back to Joseph.
Hello?
Reagan?
Hi, okay. Hi, my name is Reagan McClure. I am
Yes.
the student council president at the high school. I would also like to thank our admin and everyone who's continued to work so hard during this difficult time. I know that it's frustrating at times, but I'm very thankful. I would also like to thank our teachers for just reaching out to students who maybe don't have as many resources as others. I would also like to request the postponing of our graduation celebration. I know that this last really time we have with our teachers and the rest of our classmates, I think our whole class would really appreciate that time. So thank you so much for hearing hearing us.
Thank you.
Okay. Joseph
Uh-huh.
and then Joe.
Right.
They're all in the same room, so he's going to just use the same session as them.
Okay.
So
We got them online.
They'll split into 3 minutes each.
Okay. You got them online?
Almost.
You got Joe?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, who's speaking?
This is Joseph Malillan.
Okay, go right ahead.
Joseph Malillan, sir.
Go right ahead, Joseph.
Hi, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Joseph Malillan. I'm the salutatorian of the graduating class of 2020. And I just wanted to speak really quickly, the same as my fellow classmates, about graduation. Oh, and first of all, I would like to thank the Denison High School teachers, especially the counselors and all of them, for making this difficult time much easier, especially with schoolwork and all of that. They've been going above and beyond to kind of help us through that. Okay. High school graduation is an event that a person only gets once in their lifetime. It is the turning point for many where they have to embrace adulthood by walking across the stage and closing the door on their childhood and all the hard work they've done for 13 straight years. As the last barrier that we have to pass before adulthood, it is my belief that graduation should remain an in-person ceremony, if possible, to ensure that we are able to end this chapter of our lives with joy rather than content. Thank you for taking the time to listen to me speak about something I'm very passionate about, and I hope that you have a nice day. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, can you hear me?
And who's speaking, please?
Hi, my name is Joselle Malillan.
Okay.
My name is Joselle Malillan. I am the sister of Joseph Malillan. I am also a senior nursing student who's also dealing with this situation of postponement of graduation. Also, I'm a graduate of Denison High School, class of 2015. Again, I wanted to say thank you to all of the board members, counselors, and teachers who've helped all of the students with this trying time. I know that, a lot of things are out of our hands right now, but thank you to all of you for helping it be a little bit easier. Just wanted to say that I really would strongly consider having a postponement of graduation. I know these kids have worked really hard on all of these years working in school. Also, as a senior myself, we have postponed our graduations because we felt like it'd be a more personal experience to have it in person rather than having it virtually. But if it comes to the point where physical is not applicable, if virtual is the only option, then I would recommend having that rather than no ceremony at all. Thank you for your time, and I hope you all have a good night and hope everyone stays safe. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Is there anyone else?
That one was, there were 3 names on that.
Okay.
I don't know if that should be counted as 3 individuals. There are 2 other people on that.
Okay. Are they wanting to? Are they still open? Open
Yes,
mic?
Joe and Ellen.
Joe and Ellen, are you still there? Joe and Ellen, are you still there?
No, that's it for us. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. President, to let these parents know, let's move to the information item on graduation. That way we can discuss how we plan to go about this. And I think the point you guys have made is certainly important. This is a once in a lifetime event. I think all of us have had that special privilege. This is the first time I ever remember that we've had an issue that we've had to deal with graduation in a different way. And our goal is to make graduation very, very special for every graduate. And we're hearing a variety of things that other school districts are doing. And a lot of them are postponing graduation to July. Some of them are doing virtual graduation. We really feel like that our seniors and our parents need to be polled and just get a feel on what you guys want. we'll make it happen. And some dates I've looked at, July, it's going to be hot, by the way, probably be late in the evening. We'll have to do it at the stadium. We can't do it indoors. Would be something like July the 11th, July the 18th. I've had one parent and one student called and said he's going to the military, he won't be here on that date, would want to do a virtual graduation. Another parent said that they're going out of town during the month. But what we need to do is do what's best for all of our students. And I can assure you that we're going to be very vigilant in making sure that you guys are honored. What this survey will go out, or we plan to have it out, we're going to meet tomorrow or Thursday and develop it. It'll go out probably on the 8th of May, and it'll be back in by the 15th of May. The school board meets on the 19th. We'll bring our recommendation to the school board. I really expect it'll be overwhelming in support of postponing graduation. I think that's what I'm hearing from a lot of different people. We may have to limit the number of family members. Graduates may only have 4 family members. We may have to spread them out in the stadium and balance out on both sides of the stadium and put the graduates a distance apart. There's going to be a lot of things we're going to have to consider. But we appreciate the fact that you guys see it as important. This community does. And we're going to do everything humanly possible to honor you guys the way you should be honored. And really appreciate the fact that you students have stepped up and had your voice heard. I think it's very important we do that. Thank you very much.
I can hear you. I can hear you, so watch about your
Action items, 6A, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Consent agenda. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Any opposed? No opposed. The ayes have it. Motion passes. Okay, 6B, regular business. Consider the possible action regarding the COVID-19 planning and related issues, including the resolution of Board of Trustees of the Denison ISD, hereby declared public purpose for the expenditure of district funds and delegation of specific authority of the superintendent, Randy Reed.
Yes, this resolution contains 2 items that are important since we've declared an emergency closure. The first is policy D local. It allows employees to be paid during emergency closures, but the board is required to adopt a resolution that establishes the purpose and parameters of such payments. This resolution would end the payments for at the end of the 2019-2020 school year. Teachers would continue to be paid during the summer because they've earned that money during the school year. Hourly employees, they also have been, when they're required to come to work, such as our cafeteria workers or maintenance workers, they're getting, our policy requires that they get premium time, which is time and a half. After the school emergency would be over, which would be May 26th, then the time would go back to regular time at that time. The other part of the resolution is to give Dr. Scott, the superintendent, authority to circumvent some of the purchasing laws that we have, competitive purchasing laws. When you have purchases over $50,000, you have to go out for bids unless you can get that with the co-op or some alternative. You usually have to advertise that for over 2 weeks. then you have to give vendors time to gather that up. So you may end up having a purchase that you need today because of this emergency being 4 to 5 weeks down the road before you can have a board meeting and actually approve that. So we're asking that you give that authority to Dr. Scott. And of course, you would be contacted if we have any of those kind of purchases. That would end also at the end of this emergency closure. It's just a precautionary item at this time. So it's our recommendation that the board adopt and passes the resolution declaring a public purpose for the expenditure of the district's funds and delegation of specific authority to the superintendent.
You have a motion?
I make a motion.
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion second. Any discussion?
Yeah, I've got a few questions, Randy. I'm not real clear on the employee pay portion about the 1.5 times for the non-exempt employees. Can you explain that some more?
Sure. What happens if we tell employees do not come to work, which we have had several employees that we've asked not to come to work, or we've asked them to come in,
Money.
they're still getting paid, the non-exempt or hourly. But if we do ask them to come in and work, the time that they're actually working, they get premium pay. So if they work,
maybe
we've had people come in and work 1 day a week. We've had our custodians to come in and clean our schools, disinfect them, because we've had people come in. That 1 day that they come in, they get premium time for the time they work. And then they get their regular time for just their regular 40 hours. Does that make sense to you?
So they're getting paid their regular hourly wage, 40 hours a week, even though they're not on site, they may be at home. They're continuing to get their regular pay, correct?
Correct. Unless they come in to work, then they get time and a half.
Why do they get the premium pay time and a half if they come in? I don't understand that.
That's in our policy, DEA local.
So Randy, let me ask, if I'm scheduled for 40 hours, I'm getting paid for 40 hours, but if I come in and work 8 hours, I get 32 hours regular time and 8 hours time and a half.
Correct.
Exactly.
And we do think we're going to be reimbursed by this from FEMA for that time.
That's a bug. What's his name?
I just don't understand. I mean, if that's in our policy, that's in our policy, but I don't understand why. I mean, they're not working overtime. They're working part of the regular 40 hours, but it's just a different location, whether they're on site or at home.
This is very commensurate with other industries. TI is doing the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah, Randy, I had the same question you have. You know, they're being paid. If they come into work, they're already being paid. But Randy had told me the policy did call for that. And I didn't know that industry was doing that as well. But that only applies to hourly employees. It does not apply to anybody other than hourly employees.
Right, yeah, okay. I also have a question about the purchasing authority. I understand the bid process, maybe suspending that. But I'm not understanding why, is this, if we pass this, this gives Dr. Scott the ability to make any purchases just whenever he wants without going through the bid process and without getting board approval. Is that correct?
No. I think you said with the board action.
Well, I'm sure you would be consulted about that. All of you would be.
But it wouldn't be an action item where we would have to approve it with a vote, right?
Right.
And why?
It'd only be, Randy, in a case of an emergency. We've not had anything like that take place.
Right.
I would notify the board if we had an expenditure
That's what
that
Randy does
would
too.
not require board action like the present policy calls for. And it's just during this crisis that this will be in effect. Once it's gone, we'll go back to the regular way we do things.
Well, we have to take board action to repeal it, or does it automatically end?
It automatically ends at the closure.
Okay.
I didn't hear you. When does it automatically end?
It will automatically end when we have the emergency closure, which is May 26th.
Okay.
So that, okay, with the governor, okay, what he decides. So that could be extended, I suppose, too.
Right. This is for something that we need something tomorrow to continue our purpose as a school district. That's the only, we can't go out there and approve buying a bunch of computers that we normally would. It has to have an emergency type purpose for that.
But we, and I understand that, but we do, board policy BE legal states that we can call an emergency meeting of the board of trustees with a 1 hour notice. So if there is something that's an emergency, there isn't that delay of weeks, days or weeks. We could call a Zoom meeting like we're doing right now to approve it. So I don't understand the need for taking this out of the hands of the board to make emergency purchases like this.
This is what the main part of this is and you could make an amendment to make that you wanted to have board approval for those items, but we would not have to go through the competitive bid process. In other words, we would be exempt from the 2 weeks advertising and giving people time to bid and submit those bids. You could do that.
Yeah.
This is standard language for, that I'm aware that every school district has adopted. Whether it's good or bad, that's the situation.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it just continues to erode on the voters' representation through locally elected school boards. That, and I know this is a temporary thing, it's not a long-lasting thing, but it's like, yeah, school board trustees, our hands are tied on a lot of things, the state mandates and things that get thrown down to us, and they're just taking away our ability to represent the voters in the district that we have been elected to, and this is just another one of those.
Well, I think this meeting is a representation of the voters, and we're telling Henry we can give him the authority to make those purchases.
Randy, is this just for this particular emergency, or is this any of the emergencies?
This would be for this particular emergency closure that we're having right now.
So it wouldn't affect any other emergency other than this here.
Now, if we had another closure, we would bring this again.
Okay, all right.
If I understand, the wording on this is for the COVID-19 pandemic emergency.
Yes.
And the order that the governor has given us for closure until May 26th. Now, he could extend that, but it would be for the COVID-19 pandemic only. If there was another pandemic or another emergency, it would be this wouldn't cover that.
That's my understanding too.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Do we have
Do
a
you have
motion?
any nays?
Mr.
Yes, we
President?
did have the motion.
Okay.
Yes. And a second. Is there any nays?
Mr. President, could we move item 8 up where Keith and Steve can go on about their business and deal with that? Is that possible?
Yes. Okay. 6B8, consider a possible action regarding design development of Hyde Park Elementary School and Mays Elementary Building addition construction project. Randy Reed.
Yes, Corrigan and their staff have been meeting with quite a few. Well, each principal of each campus has formed a committee, and they've had several meetings with them, and they've been discussing the design of the schools and the cafeteria, all the way down to what goes into the classroom and the setup there. They've had a lot of input, and they've done a great job of working with the staff and coming back with their ideas, and helping them compile this. So I'm going to let Corrigan take over. I think Keith Cummings is going to present this tonight for us with Corrigan. So go ahead, Keith.
Yes, I will. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you, Mr. Reed, for that introduction. And yeah, I was going to talk a little bit about the process that we went through. Believe I'm going to be able to share my screen.
Kyle's going to work on that for you.
You should be able to, I believe.
It's.
Let me make you the host.
It's disabled.
Can you now?
I can, yes, thank
you. Screen sharing.
All right. Are you able to see my screen?
No.
Yes.
Yes.
We are here. Yes. All right. Well, thank you again for allowing us to come present to you today. As Mr. Reed spoke, we've had a great process moving to this point. Where we are is at design development approval. So we are bringing to you today the fruits of those meetings Mr. Reed spoke about. We met at both Mays and Hyde Park campuses. We had a total of 4 meetings with the campus principal and also a committee that they established to speak with us. As discussed, we went through all aspects of the design, from the site to the floor plan to the classroom, and also the exterior images that we presented to them. At each meeting, we got feedback back from the committee. We made adjustments to our plans, and then we re-presented it to them at the next meeting. So I'm going to begin with Mays Elementary School. With Mays, I think originally when we came to you, we talked about the plans for both schools. They include additional classrooms. It includes a new cafeteria and a new kitchen at both campuses. So what we have here on the first slide is a bird's eye view, just kind of an overview of the new construction that we're proposing at Mays Elementary. What's in the gray is the existing school. We're just kind of showing it that way. And what you can see in the brick color is the new areas of additions that we're proposing at Mays. This is actually looking from kind of the southwest corner of the school. The main entry is over to the upper right is where we have here. This would be a new classroom addition in the existing courtyard, and toward the back is the new cafeteria and kitchen addition. One thing you can see even from this 3D model that we created is Mays has quite a interesting topography, so it was something that we had to definitely work with while we're looking at the campus, is the sloping grades that we have out there. This is the site plan for the site, or for the school. What we're showing is just kind of the existing campus. In the dark is where we're having additions and renovation work both. Some of the things we talked about with the committee and what we had input on was the circulation of the traffic on the site, and also the placement of relocate the playgrounds for the campus. Starting with the circulation, some of the items that we discussed were the actual traffic flow. We proposed increasing the length of the drop-off area for the campus. So you would still have traffic that comes in one direction and then can exit out at either space. This would allow for increased drop-off area and additional parking to the front of the campus. The front door is not moving. It is, wrong direction. The front door is still right here for the campus, so that is not changing. One thing in addition we discussed with the staff is a new additional drop-off area that is to the south of the campus. This allows them to have multiple points of drop-off and pickup, which was something that was very important to the staff. Another area that was discussed is the new cafeteria kitchen location. This area has its own private drive that is for deliveries and also for trash pickup. So that's separating that to the back of the campus away from the front where it is currently. As mentioned, this is where the new cafeteria is, which would have access out to a new located playgrounds. It's a little difficult to see, I believe, in this image, but what we've discussed with the campus is providing some new fencing area so that all the playgrounds are secured in a new fence that is away from the streets and the traffic flow of the campus.
That's good.
Any questions about the site plan, or I can move to the floor plan next? And we can always come back, so please let me know if you have any questions or want to go back to the slide. This is the proposed floor plan for Mays Elementary. As previously discussed on the site plan, the front door is still on the southeast corner of the campus, so that would not move. I am going to zoom in a little here so we can discuss. Some things that we've planned for is where the existing loading dock is right now is this area, which we've proposed as an expansion of the administration offices. So it adds some additional office space and adds some additional conference room space to the campus. As you come out of that space and up the hallway, this space to the right was where the existing kitchen and cafeteria are currently. We are proposing this space to be new classroom space and restrooms. And the space to the left is what is being proposed as an addition to the courtyard, which would house additional classrooms as well. One thing to note on this area, it is shown with some heavier walls. So this area would be designated as a weather refuge area for the school. So if there's extreme weather, this portion of the school would have thickened walls, thickened ceiling, reinforced doors and windows. So it'd be a safer area for the entire student body to take refuge in the school. As we move around the floor plan, I'll move over to the cafeteria. So this would be a new addition to the school. It has access from this main hallway, so it connects to the rest of the school. We also have a new secondary entrance to this space. So this entrance here would be for after hours. So it could have for after hour events or anything that's special at the school. We are providing some doors so the rest of the school can be locked off for after hours, and you have access to just this area if that is desired by the district. It does have a space for restrooms. It does have a stage and access to the stage. And then we are proposing a new kitchen with 2 serving lines to allow for greater efficiency with the lunchroom hours and feeding of the students. As I touched on that very first image, this is an exterior door from the campus. This was what was discussed with the teachers and the principal, that this would be your main access out to the playgrounds during lunch periods. You also have access from the main school as well, but this was important to them to have direct access into a fenced-in playground area for the students. So if there's no questions about the floor plan, I'd move next into some exterior renderings that we provided the staff. Before I move, was there any questions about the floor plan that I could answer?
I'm from Ken.
All right. So moving on to some exterior renderings that we provided. The first is the front door of Maze. In the bottom right, you can see an arrow that kind of shows you where we are on the plan. So we are looking at the front door. This is where the current loading dock area is for the current kitchen. So you can see here, we've infilled that to provide that added office space for the staff and conference room area. We are proposing a new canopy for the front of the school as well. That would just allow that protected entry into the space and also allow a little more signification and notice of the main entry door to the school. Moving to the back kitchen area. Again, this is looking at that new cafeteria addition. This is that door that exits out to the new playground area. So this would be the new cafeteria addition, as I mentioned. So at lunchtime, this would have open access so kids can exit and access the playgrounds directly. It has natural light coming into the space. All the windows in both proposals are to the playground areas. So you have visibility out to those areas and doesn't have extra windows out to the exterior of the space. We really wanted to focus the sight lines to those playgrounds in this area.
Thank you. Just enjoy that chair out there.
The next view is looking here, just adjacent to the new kitchen. This is that access I was talking about for after hours. It is adjacent to the parking lot that's just to the north. So this would be a secondary entrance into the school, still with a covering so you can have some protection when you're waiting to get in or waiting for pickup. But this really would be a secondary entrance into the cafeteria and kitchen areas for after hours or special programs. If there's no questions about Maze, I was going to move directly into the Hyde Park presentation.
Keith, let me ask you a question. Is the brick here going to match the brick up on the front part of the school?
Yes, that is correct. And you can see that we were picking up on the brick colors and style that's with the last addition that was done to the school. So we're wanting to be able to tie all the parts of the school together and keep the same palette. So moving through the plan, similar at Hyde Park, we'll begin with the bird's eye view. Again, the grayed out area is existing school, and the brick color is the new additions to Hyde Park. Some things you can see pretty clearly here before I move to the site plan is the idea that this existing classroom wing that kind of was just exited to the exterior, we are now proposing a new corridor that would make a connecting loop back to the school. It will also have, this is where the existing kitchen and cafeteria is. So we were adding on to the expansion of the new classrooms here and the new cafeteria and kitchen also.
Yeah, I think it is.
So again, with the site plan, a lot of discussions were around traffic flow and student flow into the playground areas. This campus, also the front door is remaining where it is. So the front door remains on the east side of the campus. There's no proposed change to that drop off, so that would remain. As you move to the north, there was a proposal to extend the parking to this to just maximize the parking on the north side, because currently the staff uses this also as a drop-off and pickup. One feature now that we have is we are adding a whole new drop-off pickup loop to the west side of the campus. So this allows for extended drives and drop-offs to give additional flexibility to the campus for multiple points of drop-off and pickup. As with Mays, it was a very similar discussion about the playgrounds. We are now relocating the playgrounds to have them in a fenced-in area that is to the southwest of the campus, so that it is protected and also has direct access off of the cafeteria and to the remaining classroom areas of the school. Again, this relocation of the playgrounds moves them away from the street and has them a little more sheltered from view and from a fencing standpoint. The kitchen addition is to the northwest corner, similar to the Maze plan, and it provides a dedicated drop-off drive right here for the trash and for deliveries to that. The Hyde Park site is a little more generous, so it does not have those extreme grade changes that we have at Maze. So it has been a nice plan to work with. A little less dirt work to be done on this site. Moving into the main floor plan, I'll just reorient you to the front door is staying where it is. The majority of the additions on this project are happening off the existing cafeteria and kitchen. So you can see majority of the campus will stay as it is. What we're doing is adding a connection hallway to this hallway here. So we will be having a connection into the new space here. And as I mentioned at the beginning slide, we're providing a new connection and a new hallway on the west, so we complete that loop. So we have circulation that goes all the way around from this point of the school. Zooming in a little bit, similar to Maze, the existing cafeteria and kitchen would become classroom space. And then the new additional classrooms would just be to the west. For this plan, it also has a weather refuge area that would be these classroom spaces here with restrooms. So similar to Maze, if there is a weather situation, this portion of the school would have strengthened walls and ceilings, doors and windows, and would allow the entire campus to be able to fit in this space of the school during that. Also, like Maze, this campus would have a new cafeteria and kitchen. They are the same size cafeteria and kitchen for both campuses, and also the kitchens are going to be identical for both campuses with 2 serving lines to serve more efficiently the student body. One thing to note, we also have a after hours access here for this campus, so that you can lock off the remaining of the campus with a door here and a door at the end of this hallway. So you have access and use of the cafeteria and kitchen after hours while protecting the rest of the campus.
Is it changing the delivery area?
Yes. Yes. The delivery area, this one would have the delivery area would be on the west side for this campus. And Maze, we did modify it to be able to eliminate the ramps that we were challenged with at Maze. So we were able to update that as well. Moving into the views, the exterior images of Hyde Park. For this one, we are showing the new corridor and new cafeteria. So this is looking at that new drop-off area that we're providing for the campus. Here you can see where we're already relocating those playgrounds that we have. So this would be an access into the cafeteria area, covered again with windows looking out into the courtyard. Like with Maze, we took our elevations, we were trying to fit into the existing scheme of the school, which has some different panels and brickwork, just with 2 different colors of brick. This is that same entry point, just walking under that covering that takes you into the vestibule to the cafeteria. This door right here, like Maze, is a direct access out of Hyde Park. So kids can leave the cafeteria and go directly into the playground that is securely fenced in. This is another view of that cafeteria, still looking just from a different angle. So this would be that access into the cafeteria and the windows that gives you that direct visual connection to the playgrounds. This view here, similar again to this, is the after-hour door entry. So this would have access to the existing parking lots. So we provided that secondary entry into the campus. Here, this is still a canopy protected area for any drop-off or pickup function that this entry might have. This is part of those new classroom wings that are weather protected for the campus. And lastly, on this project, going back to this plan in the corner, by providing that new hallway connection to make a continuous loop of circulation, that does create one new courtyard into Hyde Park. And so this is just a shot of that courtyard. One of the options that we're looking at is using some artificial grass turf in this area just to soften that courtyard. But that will be priced as an alternate to the project, just to be checking the budget as we move forward. To the left here, this is that new classrooms that I've mentioned that are the weather refuge areas for the students as well. And I believe that is all the slides I have, but I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have on the project or the process.
Keith, Steve, it looks great. Great design. I know it's sometimes difficult when you're trying to do remodels or additions. You're limited on space and the grade work and everything, but the design looks really great. So thank you all.
Thank you very much. And I want to reiterate the teachers and the principal. We have a lot of gratitude to them. They worked hard to giving us feedback and working through the plans with us. I really appreciate it, and we couldn't have gotten the plans where we did without their help.
Yeah, the committee was really great. They dug in and looked at all the details and made sure and checked and rechecked, and we went back and forth, and they were very involved in the refining of the conceptual design that we had in the bond program.
Yeah, looks like it paid off. That's good.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Steve, you got anything to say?
Thank you. No, the only thing I was going to add is that if the board approves the design development tonight, we're moving forward. We're into the construction documents, and what we anticipate is at your May board meeting, bringing you a guaranteed maximum price for the site, right, Keith, at both sites to approve, so that we can start site work this summer like we had planned. And so they will get after, Plata will get after working this summer on doing the roads and the site work and infrastructure, and then bringing the other package early in the summer for the building pieces to complete it, and then starting that. So we wanted to go ahead and get the site out earlier than the building so that we can get the
hopefully get a lot of that site work, the road work stuff, at least way out of the way for when next fall comes around, which is the roads and the parking.
Okay, it's recommended that the Board of Trustees approve the design development plans for Hyde Park Elementary and Mays Elementary building additions as presented.
I move for approval.
Do I hear a motion?
I move for approval.
And I hear a second?
I second it.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Do you have any nays? The ayes have it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Steve, Keith.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Great job as always.
You bet.
Appreciate it.
So B3, budget amendments 2019-2020, Randy Reed.
And we got that renewal of food service.
Oh, yes.
Number 2.
Okay. Consider renewal for the food service management contract RFP 2202 and approval for the food service management company contract. Randy Reed.
Yes, each 5 years, Texas Department of Agriculture requires us to go out for proposals for a food service management company. This is the 5th year of that contract. We sent out RFPs in February. We received 2 responses to that. One was from Southwest Food Service Excellence and one from Aramark. A food service evaluation committee was formed to evaluate and score their proposals. David Hawley, Becky Russell, Linda Fleming, Courtney Hunkepeller, and myself were members of that committee. We did individually score these their proposals, and you have a copy of that, not the individuals, but we averaged those together and we came out with the average, and that's what you see here. And based on that and other evaluations of the proposal, the Food Service Evaluation Committee recommends the awarding Aramark the Food Service Management RFP and approving the food service management contract with Aramark.
I have a motion.
Motion that we approve Randy's proposal as presented.
I'll second it.
All right, have motion and second. Any discussions?
Randy, on Southwest Food Service Excellence, under item number 5, financial condition, I understand they scored an 11.2 out of a possible 11, or is that a typo?
That must be
Kind of hard to do, isn't it, Bob?
Yeah, well, that was that must have been a points available. That must have been a typo.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's like making 110.
It wasn't enough to put them over the top. I think we've been happy with Aramark.
Yeah.
They've been responsive to us.
Very much so.
Behind the scenes on this food service and out there on the field and everything was phenomenal too. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. All right. This budget amendments 2019-2020, Randy Reed.
Yes, we have a project going on, as you know, at Scott Middle School, and I think you know about that. As we worked towards that, we had an asbestos survey going on with that, and originally we had $100,000 budgeted for that project for the asbestos abatement. Once we got into the actual building and seeing some more, they found some more, quite a bit more. That building has a lot of asbestos in it. Based on that, in order to complete the project, our quote came back for $445,000. So we're going to have to increase our budget for that. Like I said, we had also, because it included a bigger area, we're going to have to replace some more flooring than we decided. So we're asking that you approve a budget amendment for $400,000 for that Scott Middle School HVAC project.
Do I hear a motion?
Becky.
I make a motion to approve.
Here a second.
Second.
Any discussion? You know, one of these days, we're gonna get all that asbestos out of here.
David, I'll tell you, we've got a bunch already. That building is full of asbestos.
All in favor, say aye.
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 The ayes have it. Consider the election of unopposed candidates for trustee election order. Randy Reed.
Yes, we had a scheduled board election on May 2nd, 2002 for Ward 5 and Ward 7. Only 2 candidates applied for that election, and the time to apply has passed. And so it's recommended that we cancel our election and that the Board of Trustees approve the adoption election certificate of unopposed candidates and the trustee election order. Russell, trustee for Ward 5, place 7. Scott Moore, trustee for Ward 7, place 6.
I make a motion to adopt the order.
Have a motion, to have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? The ayes have it. Item 5, investment policy review, Randy Reed.
Yes, every year we're required to, the board's required to have a review of our investment policy and to see our strategies and name your investment officers. Currently, myself and Mrs. Hunkapiller are the investment officers for the district. I have a real short PowerPoint presentation to present to you. This is the documentation that we will be that we went over the investment policy. It can be found at CDA Local and CDA Legal. The policies can be. Let me turn it off. There we go. And these are some of the 3 basic investment strategies that we look at whenever we look at any type of investments: or safety, liquidity, and diversity in any investment. These are all the approved investments that we have been approved to buy securities with or invest in. We do not use nearly all of these, but they're available if they become a good tool for us. And we'll show you what we're currently using for our investments later. This is a little history of where we are with our investments the past few years, and you can kind of see there's a pretty good trend there. This visual here shows you, really shows that, and part of that is just a little bit of increase in interest, and also our fund balance has increased the past few years, so we have more funds to invest, and our interest has gone up. And you'll probably see that curve turn around the other way as interest have kind of gone down a little bit from where they were before. And now this is where we have our investments in. Most of our investments are with investment pools and our deposit. We also have some in certificate of deposits. You can see they all meet our strategies of being safe and secure and liquid. And at this time, no changes are recommended to the Denison ISD investment policy. So it's a recommendation to approve the investment policy resolution, which documents the annual review of our investment policy and strategies, and the investment officers of the district and of approved investment training providers.
I make a motion to approve the investment policy report.
I'll second the motion.
Motion second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Any nays? Motion passes. Consider renewal of membership to TCOG. Dr. Scott.
We've been a member of TCOG since its inception, and we're asking again the board to renew their membership for $915. And I think Bob Roden has been the representative from the district. I think I'm correct, has served on that board. Is that correct?
Yes.
Do you feel that's a good investment?
I was an employee of TCOG for 3 years, and that was one of the reasons that I volunteered to represent the board. And I think through the years, we could all say that foster grandparent programs, the workforce programs before they left the COG, certainly so many of the programs that they provide a lot of support to families and children in our district. And I don't feel like $915 is a very usurious fee for us to remain a part of that and to help support that organization. So I think it's a good investment.
I recommend that we renew our membership in TCOG.
Do I hear a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Second.
Have a motion second. Any discussion?
No.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed?
Hey,
All,
What was the name, Bruce?
Bruce, you nay?
no, I mean, I said, yay, you just sounded like that.
All right. Motion passed. Consider appointment of 2 DISD representatives to serve on the Smith Foundation Community Advisory Committee. Dr. Scott.
Most of you are aware that at one time the Smith Foundation had an advisory board that, and Linda Fleming served on that board, that made recommendations on grants locally, and then Bank of America took that away. Well, the city of Denison and Denison Development Alliance filed a lawsuit against Bank of America, and this lawsuit was settled in mediation. And the settlement was that Denison would again receive representation and input on to grants that are presented by the Smith Foundation. And the city of Denison has 3 members, and the school district, the board appoints 2 members. And I've recommended that Alice Dunlap and Sherry Christie be appointed. I think one of them is a 4-year term, another is a 5-year. I can't remember which is which. But if any board member wishes to nominate anyone else for consideration, please do so.
If any board member want to nominate anybody at this point?
Otherwise, I'd recommend the board appoint these 2 individuals on the Smith Advisory Board.
Do I have a motion to appoint the Alvis Dunlap and Sherry Christie for the Smith?
So moved. Ken Altnether.
Got a motion?
Second.
And a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, information items.
We've covered the graduation. If we could move on to the online learning, and Shonda will be happy to alert the board to what we're doing with our students during the downtime.
7B, report on online learning. Sean.
Yes, thank you. It's my pleasure to deliver this report to you tonight. And I would just point out that our at-home learning probably has had 4 key phases, and I'll just briefly update you on each phase, as well as point out some of the key events that took place during each phase. The week that we returned from school break, I would characterize that as kind of our planning and mobilization phase. And I think the neatest event that took place here in just a matter of 3 days, our staff completed just over 4,400 phone calls. And the purpose of these phone calls were to determine immediate needs, as well as our capacity for delivering online instruction. And that survey that we constructed revealed that we had between 80 and 85% of our homes that had Wi-Fi. So that immediately told us that our pre-K through 6th grade needed to have two options. We would have an online delivery as well as a low-tech or a paper packet delivery. And then we were very fortunate with our 7th through 12th grades that we would be able to deliver online lessons using Schoology, which was a learning management system that we've already had in place for several years. We, during this phase, identified 200 families that had Wi-Fi, but that needed devices. And so we have just over 200 laptops that are being loaned to those families. And then we identified just over 300 families who neither had Wi-Fi nor they didn't have Wi-Fi nor devices. And so we ordered, imaged, and disseminated 325 Samsung tablets that have built-in hotspots. And I would just point out that Dr. Deal and Kyle Harris and the entire technology department was a tremendous help during this phase. They worked tirelessly. I know the one day that they imaged the 325 tablets, that was just, it was an all-day effort, and it was 9 people just getting after it and working as hard as they could. And then another key thing that happened during this phase, Lori May and Tiffany Gant contacted all of our special education and 504 students because we are still required by law to meet those needs. And so we have a learning plan in place and have made contact with all of those families. And then we were ready just in just under a week. And the second phase I would call the implementation phase. And that's where we began delivering instruction. And so that was Monday, March 23rd, we were ready. And the way that took place is curriculum coordinators utilized Zoom, very much like what we're doing tonight, to determine which teams of teachers would be writing lesson plans for the various subjects. We very quickly constructed a SharePoint site so that grade level teams can work collaboratively and simultaneously on plans. And then another huge component is once we have those finalized online plans, then Mr. Eves, who has just been a godsend, he spends his weekends literally uploading those online lessons to our online website that he's constructed. And then as far as the low-tech lessons, my team, specifically my administrative assistant, Patty Vincent, works very long days making copies of lessons in those packets. And so initially we had 1 week of lesson plans that we delivered to the campuses, and then each campus had a packet pickup. But now we've become more efficient and we do 3 weeks of lesson plans at a time. And so that's minimizing that personal contact at each campus. We will actually begin copying tomorrow and Thursday on our final 3 weeks of lesson plans. So, and then another thing that I want to point out that I think is a vital component of even the online as well as the paper packets, our DISD teachers create and upload lessons to YouTube. And even those that don't have necessarily Wi-Fi in their home, they have a smartphone. And the good thing about YouTube is that you can access those lessons via smartphone. And parents have just provided very positive feedback. One mom told me that her little girl watched her teacher, when it was her 2nd grade teacher, she watched the lesson 6 times just because her voice was comforting to her. So just kudos to our teachers for kind of stepping out of their comfort zone to create those YouTube videos. And then I know that I mentioned Kyle before, but Kyle worked to establish a private Zoom room for any Denison ISD teacher who wanted to utilize one. And so many of our teachers are now utilizing this technology. Principals are utilizing this technology to conduct staff meetings. And so just kudos again to Kyle for being so helpful in getting that set up. And then I think the third phase, and kind of the phase that we're in right now, is what I'm calling the refinement phase. And what we did is for pre-K through 6th grade, not so much our 7 through 12 because they're utilizing Schoology and they have that daily connection with kiddos. But for our pre-K through 6, we developed a student learning rubric that's actually, it was completed from April the 15th to tomorrow. The teachers have a week to reach out to every family, and that's going to provide another a personal touch by way of a phone call. It's also a way for them to gather feedback on student learning that's taking place, as well as our lesson design, to see how we might do some things differently. I would also say that another defining characteristic of this phase is that teachers are getting very creative and finding ways to connect with kiddos. I mentioned the Zoom, but kind of just some other low-tech options. We've had some teachers that have constructed yard signs that say, "My teacher misses me." They go and deliver those. They have a handwritten note to the kiddos on the back, as well as a snack. And so those stay there a couple of days, and then the signs are rotating. Teachers are writing personal letters, which I think just sets a wonderful example for kiddos about the importance of that handwritten note. I know we've got even some 7th and 8th grade teachers who are writing handwritten notes, even though they have that daily connection through Schoology. So just really proud of the creative efforts. And then the final phase, and this is ongoing right now, and I think will even continue long after this, is what I would call the reflection and the evaluation phase. And this is something that good educators do, whether we're delivering lessons in person or we're delivering lessons virtually. And so it's a continual process, and that's just taking time to say, is there a way to improve the process? Can we make it better? So we're constantly looking for internal and external feedback. And just to conclude, I want to just kind of reiterate some things that have been said tonight. We're so very appreciative of the extra efforts that parents are giving to help us deliver these lessons. We're so very grateful for their partnership. And then I am beyond proud of our curriculum team and our DISD teachers. This has been a challenge. You know, I'm not going to mince words. It has been a challenge, but it is one that they have tackled with all of their might. And so many of our teachers are stepping out of their technology comfort zones. And I like to believe that at some point in the future, we're going to look back on this time as a major educational renovation and revolution, because we're doing things differently and we're learning. And so I would answer any questions that you have, but I just want you to know that I am beyond proud of our teachers and our students and our parents.
Shonda.
Yes, ma'am.
This is Linda. Do we have students that have not been able to contact, or they've not responded with their lessons coming back?
So we have worked through that. Linda, what we're doing, if they cannot reach them by phone, then I have drafted a letter, and we're actually sending that letter with a parent questionnaire that has a stamped, addressed envelope, so that the family's not out any money. So we're trying in every way possible to reach every family.
Okay.
So, yes, there are some, but that's very few.
Good. Thank you.
Shonda, just thank you so much for all the hard work that you're doing and putting into this, your staff, the other team members. I know it's been a challenge. It's unprecedented times, and y'all have risen above and beyond. I want to thank Kyle and Dickie for the technology, the extra hours that y'all put in there. I know my wife is a technology integrator at another school district, and I know the hours that she's putting in every day firsthand. And so I can't begin to imagine how many hours a day y'all are putting into this, and you're putting it in your heart into it for those students and the parents. And so I just want to thank you for everything that you're doing, and the staff, Kyle, Vicki, and the other teachers and administrators and principal. I mean, this is unprecedented times, and it's just amazing to see what y'all have accomplished in such a short amount of time.
Good stuff.
Just unbelievable. And so our students are going to be better for it. So I can't thank you enough.
Thank you.
Shonda, another layer, since I worked with the bilingual last year, how are they doing?
Actually, that team, they are writing their own lesson plans. They're utilizing the plans that we write, and they have the latitude to tweak those. But then another thing that the bilingual team is doing is that they are translating all of our plans into Spanish, because we have certain families who speak Spanish who may not be in the bilingual program. So yes, we're meeting, that language barrier as well.
And Sean, I know another huge challenge must be with special education students. What is going on there? I mean, how are we able to satisfy those needs?
Well, to speak to that, and I don't think that Lori is on tonight, but Lori got all of her diags, and so they called every special education family on every campus. And then to the extent possible, I have a learning plan in place. And then Tiffany Gant, who is my dyslexia coordinator, our dyslexia interventionist, made calls to those homes. And we were limited in that we could not come up with a paper option for those, because not the publisher that we use, MTA, would not relinquish copyright. And so what we are doing there is we're utilizing FaceTime and Zoom. And so every dyslexia and reading interventionist is conducting face-to-face meetings with those kiddos where that is needed.
Very good, very good.
Dr. Kirkbride, do you have anything to add to that?
To the special ed or the 504 piece of that? No, other than just the amount of time and effort that we've already kind of highlighted with all the other areas. I would apply that exactly the same to our special ed and our 504 staff members. That personal contact, the letters going home, a lot of time and effort has been put into that as well. So.
Thank you all. Y'all need a very big pat on the back. You've done an exceptional job through all of this. 7C personnel, Dr. Kirkbride.
Yes, in your board packets, you can see the list of resignations and retirements, as well as the new hires. So in the midst of all of this that's been going on, we still have been busy about the business of finding good replacements. We always talk about how our district is only as good as the teachers that are in our classrooms. And so I want you to know that myself and the principals and the directors in some cases have worked exceptionally hard to find good people to join our Yellow Jacket family. All of our interviews have been conducted via Zoom, just like we are tonight. I have probably done close to 50 Zoom interviews over the past 3 weeks. While it's, we prefer to be in a room with people, it has worked. And we are excited about this new class of people that we're bringing in to work with our students. One note that is actually not listed there in the personnel report that I did want to highlight tonight is that we have named a principal at Hyde Park Elementary School. Her name is Becky Southers. She is coming from Higgins ISD, which is out west. She's moving this direction to get closer to her grandchildren and adult children who live in Oklahoma. And we're excited to formally introduce you to her at some point in the near future. But again, her name is Becky Southers. I believe Mrs. Kai has already informed the staff there at Hyde Park, and they are excited to meet her, and we're excited about her leadership moving forward at Hyde Park.
Dr. Kirkbride, you need to be commended too through all of this, and you still come up with more than half of what's leaving. So, and that's difficult. I guarantee it.
I appreciate that.
You're doing a bang up job. Thank you, sir. Okay, Next is going to be the superintendent comments and information. Dr. Scott.
Well, I want to again echo what's been said about our staff, what Becky said about our people stepping up, Shonda, David, Kyle, everybody during this time. It's not normal times, guys. Certainly not normal times in our school district, but our students still have the opportunity to learn. And the reason they do is because of the planning that went into this and the commitment of our teachers, of the staff. And so I couldn't say enough about the way our people have reacted to this crisis. So I just want to say that. Second thing I want to say is that we're doing personalized yard signs for all of our graduates, kind of like a political sign. It's the same kind, same size. And Brian Eves has done a tremendous job of pulling that together. Where we've got the pictures of the graduates, we've actually got that picture of them in the cap and gown on the sign. Where we don't, we're going to ask them to send us a picture, Brian, is that correct? And then place that on. And then we're doing 51 signs for our top 10% Socrates scholars. So those students, those honor students, will have two signs in the yard.
Mm-hmm.
One is a graduate, one is an honor student.
Correct.
And what I'm going to do, I'm going to challenge the board. Once we get the list out, hopefully we can put these signs out during the week of May the 11th to adopt about 11, 12 students that you'll agree to take the signs and actually go to their home and deliver those. If you can do that, if you can't, we've got people, the PTO at the high school has stepped up big time to do this. But our goal is to get signs out to all of Denison High School and Pathway High School graduates, a total of 326 students when you combine the two. So we'll be in contact with you. If you want to take a part in that, we certainly want you to join us in getting and honoring our students. And hopefully we'll have everything completed where we'll bring a recommendation on graduation to the board during the May 19th board meeting. And we're gonna get the survey out within the next few days, get it back, and then I think what we'll see is that the majority of the seniors and their parents are gonna wanna postpone and delay graduation to a later date. Can y'all see that?
Oh, that's awesome.
I'll tell you what, Brian, I tell him that sometimes when he's not working quite at 100%, and that's because he's a little bit late to go on a trip with us.
Oh, here it is.
This
Here
guy
we go.
way over 100% on this.
Here we go.
Scott, I'll take that one right there.
Wow.
Good job.
I know that.
Okay.
It
Well,
get-
we'll have a
Brian
list.
gets a 11.2 on a scale of 10.
So, but anyway, Brian, wonderful job. You and
Yes.
Thank you.
Sherry have really been a great part of what we're trying to do to get these kids honored in the way they should be. So that's all I have, Mr. President.
Okay, at this time, the board will go into executive session under authority of Texas Open Records Act or Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code pursuant to section 551.071 and 551.0821 regarding pending litigation's due process hearing against the district.
We'll, those in this room will go down to the conference room. That's where we've got it set up.
So the others that aren't there in person, we just stay online here?
No, Randy, there was another link for the closed session.
Oh, okay.
Did you see that in?
I'll find it. I'll find it. Thank you.
Okay.
Host your own Zoom meeting. Terrific.
Oh, what happened? That's right.
What are you doing now?
I'm trying to get on the closed meeting.
You can't.
Yes. I'm trying to find this. That's number one. What does that say right there?
Shit if I know.
There was million.
Bruce, this is Brian Eves. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hey, if you'll move your mouse down to the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, it'll come up with a little place that says leave meeting.
I did that and I don't.
This says what, Brian?
Should say leave meeting. Like if you move all the way down to the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, of the Zoom screen.
Yeah, we've been past that. Oh yeah, here it is.
Okay.
Leave meeting.
Well, it's not in the right place though.
Can we return?
3.
Shonda, you want to jump in on this?
Yes, Bruce, do you have that instruction sheet that I sent?
Yes.
Okay, so you want to leave this meeting, but then you're going to click on, there's a link for the closed session.
Right.
So you need to do you have that? You're either going to need to, do you have that in an email that you could click on? How can you access that?
I'm trying to find it. Okay, on number 2, I've got number 2 on here.
Right.
There's a leave meeting.
There it is. There it is. I
So
see
you're
it.
going to leave meeting, and then you're going to click on that link for the closed session.
I see it.
Okay.
But it's not letting me click on that leave meeting.
Well, no, not the leave meeting on that document. Now the leave meeting is on your screen.
I'm on the wrong screen.
On your computer screen, you want to take
I clicked it.
Oh, so you want to go down into that bottom right corner and you see that leave meeting that's in red?
No,
No,
I don't have it.
It's not there, Shonda.
Okay, so tell me what you're seeing on your screen right now.
Okay, let me get out of this. Okay, here we go. Zoom school board information. Okay, instructions for Zoom, links for meeting. Okay,
Right.
We've done that.
Right, but you've got to get back to, you have another screen where you're still in this meeting. You're still in the open session. You've got to leave it before you can go back, before you can access the closed session.
Right. There's where I click, but all I have on here is the instructions, like the paper instructions.
Right.
Somehow I've gotten out of the other.
Somehow you've gotten out of the meeting. All right, so let's see if we can figure that out. Down in the bottom, the very bottom of your computer screen, do you have a little picture of a blue and white video camera?
No.
You don't?
No, I don't.
Sean, Kyle, are you still there?
No, he's,
Or did Kyle move on?
no, but I'm gonna call Kyle and see if he can remote in and,
I was gonna say either that or you share your screen and show them what you're talking about.
well, I can.
Okay, let me,
I don't know that I can.
wait a minute. I think I'm, wait a minute, I think I've got it.
Okay.
Okay, you will see control, start your video. Here we go, leave me.
There you go.
There it is.
I want to make sure that's the closed session, though.
Right.
Click to leave meeting.
You've
But
got
that's
to,
the closed session.
No, you're leaving the public session, I think.
Okay,
No, that's
that's the open session. Okay,
that's in red
where is it?
down here. Straight down.
Yeah. But this one says, this is the closed session, leave meeting. I've not gotten in, maybe I just need to get into the closed session. Because I did hit leave meeting on the other one.
There's what I was talking about.
Yeah, but that's the closed session. See right there?
Yeah. Okay.
That's the first session. See, I don't know what happened.
Wanda, this is Shonda again. I've got
Okay.
Kyle, and he's going to log back in and see if he can help you all to leave this meeting and then get into the closed session.
Okay. Okay. Okay, that's what we did. Let's open session.
What, Kyle?
Oh, but it's right there. But I don't have that screen.
Wanda?
Yes.
Okay, Kyle
Yes.
has made me the host, and so I'm about to remove you from this meeting, and then you will click on that link for the closed session, okay?
Okay.
All right.
It's right there.
Where is it?
Right here.
Okay.
take a break and then come back.
They've got to leave that meeting.
Beam us up, Scotty.
I know, I went to pick up my pain medication and it wasn't ready. So she said, it'll be ready in about 30 minutes. Well, I didn't have time to wait. The pharmacy closes at 9.
I'm gonna run in that other session real quick.
Okay.
So I think I'll make it. I think we'll be fine. Don't count it as rudeness if I scoot out the door as soon as.
Randy, is that background, is that a picture you took, or what is the background?
You're muted.
Yeah.
You're muted, Randy.
We like it, but.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah, it's a picture I took while on a Alaskan cruise a couple years ago. This a glacier, lower parts of the glacier, and then the mountains in the background. I don't remember what glacier it is though.
Oh, it's a beautiful picture.
It's a lot better in person.
Yeah, I've been there. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I couldn't let Randy show me up, so I had to put a picture up of one of the pictures I took. So just so you'll see, there's one of the pictures I took recently. I didn't want Randy to show me up. I was on a scuba diving trip in Lake Texoma.
Yeah.
And just came across this, and so I thought, well, I'll take a picture of it.
Yeah, wow. That's a great picture.
Thanks. I was only in danger for a short time.
Yeah. Did you attack him?
No, grill.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, grilled shark steaks.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Hello?
There you are, Ken.
Are we back?
Yeah, we're back.
You still haven't shaved.
You're jealous.
And Linda?
Because I got these,
There you are, Linda.
oh,
I'm here.
Eves.
Okay.
Eves, you're not looking good.
Really? Why? Because I haven't trimmed this in a month and a half?
Exactly.
I thought about, I need to get the box of just for men.
Man,
It'll mess up your skin.
That's what I use.
There.
I'm going for Johnny Cash sideburns right now.
Let me see the sideburns, Ken. Show the sideburns off over there.
Dr. Scott, may I ask you a question?
That's pretty slick.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Would it be appropriate or not for me to add something to my personnel report once we get back into session?
Yeah, you bet. What would that be?
I wanted to shed a little more light on Carrie Kai's situation. I made an assumption that everyone was kind of informed about what her plans are, and if it's okay with you, I'd like to talk briefly about that.
Well, you're going to share that, aren't you? Her plans? Carrie's?
Yes.
You gonna share it now or wait till we're back in session?
That's what I'm asking.
We're in the process of waiting, so go ahead and share that with the board.
Okay. Carrie announced her that she was going to be resigning a couple of months ago, and so in my mind, in dealing with all this, I just made the assumption tonight that was just common knowledge. So I apologize if that caught any of you off guard. Carrie is ready to go to part-time work. She wants to stay in the district. She wants to stay connected. But just it was a personal decision for her and her husband that she just was ready to step down and work part-time. So she is going to be in the district still, which is very good. You know, Carrie is a phenomenal asset to our district. So I should have mentioned that tonight in my personnel report, and I apologize that I did not. She's working with Lori May. You know, if you remember, Carrie Kai has a very strong, extensive special education background. Matter of fact, had worked previously in the special education department with Lori, and so she's going to come back into the special ed department and provide some assistance and some support to our diagnosticians and perhaps our speech language pathologist as well. So we're glad to have her stay in the district, and she'll continue to be an asset.
Yeah, that's great news that we're going to keep her around. That's good.
Yeah. So thank you for letting me share that.
Bruce is reconnected. He hasn't turned on his camera or joined audio, but he is in the session.
Okay, we're back in session now. Bob, you gonna?
Yes, sir, Mr. President. I move that we authorize Welsh Gallego, the attorney for the district, to proceed as discussed in closed session.
Okay. All in favor?
Need a second?
Aye.
Well, yeah, we need a second. I'm sorry.
I second
I
it.
second.
Motion.
Yeah, really. You have a second? Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Ayes have it. All right, no other thing. We adjourn.
Here's your minutes.
That was it?
That's it. And that's the patrons to be heard if you want to put that in with
Yeah,
the
I'll put
minutes.
it in with this other.
That would
It's just
probably.
Allison.